All right, welcome back. So let's take a look. This card's very good. It's susceptible to bounce. There's an argument for taking a Sport Crown Palette over Rite of Bells and Lock, but this I'm not even sure what has the biggest upside. You can always side this out if opponent is playing blue. So we'll take it here. Okay, so now it's a Wild Onslaught. It kind of goes with Rite of Bells and Lock. Makes a bunch of 1/1s. You can make them into 2/2s. So black, green, saprolings, it's something that's interesting. Of course, we're passing an omnivore, a second sap herd. So it may not happen, but let's give it a try. Maybe it'll come together for us. So now it's either Grun or Omnivore, I think, maybe a Knight of Grace as well. Grun is okay. I mean, we're passing a lot of black skin, which is good. There's an argument for just taking Blood Tallow Candle and try to stay open. Let's try to take Grun. I want to cut green if possible, or at least make sure that my Wild Onslaught is playable. Sphinx is a clear choice. I think nothing else is close. Urza's Ruinous Blast is very awkward. Often you struggle to cast it just to get to a point where it's no longer relevant. Like if you're getting killed by your opponent's legendary creature or permanent, like Helm of the Host or Urgaros, whatever, doesn't target that. Speaking of Urgaros, there's an Urgaros and a Chronicler. Well, I think Urgaros still being in the pack is significant. He's a good card. Like, you need to deal with him, otherwise, the discard, it's discarded random. So it's not, it's I think a powerful effect. And if your opponent can't discard, you draw a card. So something not to forget about it. All right, this should not be in the pack. That should not be in the pack. Doesn't mean that white is necessarily open. In fact, now I really don't know what's open. I guess Jury was familiar lets us curve into Urgros and Grun, so I'll take it here, and it's colorless. It's a flyer. We need some early plays. I'm a bit concerned that we have nothing going on. And this is very awkward. I guess a Crosshand Druid, just for curve considerations. All right, so it looks like red is ridiculously open, but I mean, Demonic Vigor on a Cloud Raider Sphinx or an Urgros is not the worst. All right, happy to take a Broken Bond. Maybe I'll end up playing a Sarah the Cycle. Healing Grace is a reasonable sideboard card. Okay. All right, so some very late white. Doesn't mean that white is open, but we should keep an eye on it. Blessed Light could be a signal. Like, if we see white is open here, we should get rewarded with solid white cards in pack 3. So let's see. I think a Call of the Cavalry is reasonable. Wild Onslaught goes with Call of the Cavalry. Let's take it here. Hmm. All right, this is a bit more complicated now because we need to solidify not only in terms of colors, but in terms of strategy. What are we trying to do? What are we trying to accomplish? What will our deck build ultimately look like? So we're a bit all over the place. We got some decent black. We have solid white. We have playable green, like, Wild Onslaught. Probably green is the least consistent, not counting blue. Compared to like white or black. I'd rather have like a Call to Cavalry and Blessed Light than a Wild Onslaught and a Grun on average. So I guess that means we're taking Trapper, even though we're not really historic. But it seems like this is the right pick. Yeah, this is a bit problematic. It's just is it a fungal infection? Is that what we're doing? I think so. All right, so we got a sport count ballot. Definitely not passing that. There's another Call to Cavalry, but it's early enough to where we can do something with sport count ballot, and we need early plays anyway. I think mana fixing is important, so I will take a Woodland Cemetery here, hoping that the Soul Salvage wheels. So Yargle or Voltaic Servant. We need uh, we need more early plays. I'll take a Voltaic Servant. Think lighter. All right, Grow from the Ashes is good. So now we could splash. We could splash Cloud Reader Sphinx, and again, there's a bunch of red. I'll take Tiana. Probably not gonna play her. Oh my God, are we supposed to be red? I think it's clear we're supposed to be red green or something. God, fiery intervention. What do I take? Yeah, that was a crazy pack. So still not clear if we're gonna be three color. There's no way around that, and we're kind of lacking synergy, unfortunately. We're gonna have plenty of playables. I'm not worried about that. I am worried about um, just synergy and win conditions. If our plan is just to win off like right of Bells and Lock, it's not a good strategy. I'm not even sure what I'm supposed to play here. This is mediocre. Torgar is like very mediocre. No, there's nothing else. All right, well, I mean, this is something that can win me the game. Verdant Force. Verdant Force just made our deck like not abysmal. With Grow from the Ashes, it's realistic to play that on turn 6. And if we can get one more Spore Crown Ballad and like a Long Wells, we could have ourselves a deck. Okay, I am taking a second Spore Crown Ballad over the Steel Leaf Champion, I think. Is that right? All right, let me think this over. Yeah, no, it's still a Spore Crown Ballad. My mana base is going to be too inconsistent to support triple colors. Shauna could make this deck, but I would rather take a Memorial. Actually, Shauna's good with Rite of Bells and Locks, so let's try. All right, so Charge is out. I think Trapper's out. Probably Cavalry's out. Fiery Intervention, main deck of Broken Bond. So this is something. Um, Memorial to Unity is better. Another Druid. Or a Short Sword. Think many creatures. Our deck's missing a little bit of oomph. All our black is double black. That's pretty bad. Oh, Bardic Wonder works with Joyous Familiar. Yeah, we could maybe do something with Garna. All right, so a bit of a train wreck, but let's see how we do. We have 22 cards right now. It's a 4-color. With essentially Woodland Cemetery and Grow from the Ashes. And maybe a Broken Bond to, I guess, ramp. So like 4, I probably think like 3, 3. That's pretty bad. Yeah, like 8-3-3-1. So that way I have like 9 sources of green, 10 sources of green with unity. And 4 sources of black. I don't know. It's a crazy deck. It's like a deck that's completely dependent on Grow from the Ashes. We don't have a Lone Wells. So, yeah, maybe we can somehow ramp with Broken Bond, but I think that's a stretch. Yeah, one thing our deck is definitely missing is like a Soul Salvage, unfortunately. We could have really used that card. I will try to go for the Fungal Infection play. I might get 2 for 1. I guess what would you need to have? Blink of an eye. Okay, so I mean, I still get like I get a 2/2, and I shouldn't have yielded until end of turn. Yeah, that was bad, but not terrible. It's not like I'm doing much anyway. All right, Support Ground Valid and pass. I guess only upside is our opponent has 1 card in hand, and I guess maybe we could try to go on the offensive. But at this point, I guess we're just hanging out and we're trying to draw to like uh, lands. I mean, we have outs. Certainly have outs. Like I'm not even sure if it's worth casting Crossout Druid right now. We just need to hit our land drops, and I think we can win this match because I have 6 cards in hand. Opponent has 1, and I got a wall, and I'm taking 1 a turn, so I don't mind this. I will play Druid now because I'm getting close to having to discard anyway, so. I mean, I can also Broken Bond Deep Freeze, but I'd rather do that after I have Verdant Force down and make sure I have something. No attacks. Still. All right, 7 cards. I don't need to discard, so next turn, if I have nothing else to do, if I miss another land drop on turn 8, turn 9, I will go Broken Bonds on Deep Freeze. Well, at least I can kind of attack. Let's see. Okay, so after 2 minutes of thinking, opponent played Deep Freeze on Glider, which we may crack with Broken Bonds if we need to. Yeah, we're definitely doing it because I'm not discarding. My draws are getting a bit ridiculous. Let's just make sure we don't double click on the Glider. We'll click on. Why is it pointing to Glider? And Deep Freeze is an enchantment aura, so let's. So weird. Am I going to kill my glider because no? Okay, yeah. Magic is strange sometimes in the way it does that. You're pointing to the enchantment. It highlights glider, but when you cast the card, it resolves on the enchantment. That's if that's not confusing, I don't know what is. All right, we pass. All right, so it looks like opponent might also be off their third color or something. Wow, this is ridiculous. All right, so now we have to start discarding. Jeez. This is a bit. I need to do the odds of this. What are the odds of missing a land draw? Like, how do you not hit 5 lands by turn 12, basically? Turn 11. I don't know. So we need to discard probably rather have 5/5 Death Touch than a 5/5 Trample against red blue. Red blue has like a lot of high toughness. Well, blue specifically has high toughness blockers. Much 2/3s and stuff. So yeah. Now you give me a land. All right, so now I got some options. So I'm still far from like Abomination. Like I don't need to use a Blessed Light. I guess I just play Shauna this turn. All right, so let me attack again. I'll play Shauna as a 5/5. Oh yeah, sorry. There we go. All right. Matchup like this is a clear example of why Squee is kind of useless. Except that he's unblockable with Tetsuko, and that's just not good enough. All right, so now we got some action. So we can go Urgoros, start forcing some discard. I'm not going to attack with Shauna, no need. Yeah, like Grun just gets blanked by Squee. So that's why we want to play Urgoros. Okay, probably going to bounce Urgoros, which is fine. We're taking 3 for turn. Well, now actually I cannot. I may be able to attack with Shauna now because I could wipe out a big chunk of my opponent's defense. Like you would need to put at least 2 creatures on him. I don't have red, so I could have done something maybe with Garno. I don't need to use a Blessed Light. All right, I'm gonna keep Shauna back. I'm just gonna attack with Glider and recast Urgross. So I mean, as it stands, barring some like ridiculous card like Helm of the Host on Academy Journey Mage, or even Get to Journey Mage, we should be okay. Yeah, okay, he's attacking with both. All right. All right, that's not a problem. We can Blessed Light in Bolus's Clutches. And I think actually, will I be able to attack? I think at the end of my opponent's turn right now, Urgoros is going to lose Summoning Sickness. And when I Blessed Light in Bolus, no, he still has Summoning Sickness. That's kind of annoying. All right, so let's just do it now to avoid a counterspell. And obviously so that we can attack. He can also, so now he can attack 1, 2, 3, 4, so he can deal 4 turn. Still on a 4-turn clock. And actually Torgar can help me get back up to 10, so I'm not too worried. I can sack like a Sport Crown Ballad and a Sapling. Actually, I don't need to essentially sack a Sapling. I'd rather have a 0-4 than a 1-1. All right. So now the question is, do I Torgar now? Is there any way I can die next turn? I guess there is. Like, let's say my opponent attacks. After blocks, they go run amok. So 4, 5, 6, 7, that's lethal. So for that reason, I think I'm going to Torgar now. So let me attack with Glider and Urgross. Okay. That's not a problem. All right. And I go back up to 10, which should make the race more winnable. Well, I mean, he would need to address one of my flyers right now. Yeah, so the way it would work is like creatures with power 1 or less cannot be blocked, but if he has a run amok, which is a very, like, it's an expected card, it's a common, of course, and it's something that you would expect to have in a deck like this. All right, so now Urgross is probably going to die. And I'm in a bit of trouble. It's 3 turns. Yeah, I'm in a little bit of trouble now. But he's only attacking with Squeak. I think that's a mistake. I think that's a mistake. So with Jory's Familiar, we have lethal next turn. Okay. Wow, that was a weird game. So wizards, lots of spells. Divest is a consideration because Tatsuko is the only card we're worried about. I don't think, based on what we've seen, only Tetsuko could kill me. So I think Divest is better than like a second Druid. All right, let's run it like this. All right, this is not bad. I actually will trade Thalit for the Goblin because our deck is all about trying to survive, trying to go the long game. All right, so it looks like opponent is missing a land drop. That could be good. All right, we're actually I'm gonna divest now. I want to see what's going on, and I want to get rid of Tetsuko if I can. I don't mind taking 2 damage. I have a Crossing Druid to block the world. And out of everything, I think I need to take Adeliz because she is the most scariest. Yeah, taking Squeeze is stupid because you could. This card means graveyard, and you could just cast it from his graveyard. Adeliz makes sense because given what's in his hand, it makes Journey Mage harder to cast. He would need 5 mana unless he finds another wizard. I am taking out. Yeah, it's Adeliz. It's no other arguments or discussions are warranted. All right, let's pass. So best draw for us is like a swamp, of course. We didn't see any bounce in our opponent's hand. We saw, yeah, Sheevan Fire and a Befuddle. But Journey Mage can kill the creature from right of Belzenlock, so we need to make sure we cast it after Journey Mage is played. So it probably attacks, most likely opponent attacks with both and uses a Befuddle, but I guess not. All right. He wants to save his Befuddle for something better. So again, I'm kind of getting, I don't want to say mana screwed, but missing land drops is always frustrating. Like if we can just get to 8 mana, we can pretty much win the game. Because Verdant Force is no joke. Especially against a deck like our opponents. All right, so now we can safely play Rite of Belzenlock. See, this is another reason why divest is important. It's not just, it says look at your opponent's hand. When you can look at your opponent's hand, you know what he's working with. And you can play around whatever you think your opponent is trying to do. So again, very frustrating. Can't find land. It's and again, it's always frustrating when it happens in a 17 land deck, but it is what it is. All right, so most likely I'm going to run into a befuddle now. Yep, sure. Kill a creature to draw a card. Okay. Oh, cool. So now we have a win condition. I mean, we can even sack 2 clerics and go Torgar if we want. And get our opponent down to 10. I think it's better just to play an Urgaros, to be honest. Torgar can't attack. Into Squee. Yeah, sure, that attack makes sense. Totally. I'm gonna throw one of these in front. I think he's better as a gain 3 life than keep a random 0-1 on the board. Okay, excellent. So now we gotta grow from the ashes, and that's pretty much gonna be game in my opinion. I'm not, well, let's think about this. All right, so if he's got, here's, all right, no, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm still gonna go Urgaros because I'd rather have him deep freeze Urgaros than Verdant Force. What's going on? Oh, yeah, that's not enough mana. All right, never mind. I guess we are going grow from the ashes. So let's find white and I guess another green. Yeah, and it plays around, I don't know. It's unlikely that my opponent would want to destroy one of my lands, but I want to make sure I have triple green. Seismic Shift, yeah, is the card I'm thinking of. So let's just pass. Next turn we get a 6/6, and we can actually even start sacking the tokens from Verdant Force if we get another land. Okay, not worried about that. Okay, that's, I guess, not that strange of a use of Shivan Fire. He wants to get as much damage as possible. So I'm just going to block like this. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense what the opponent's trying to do. But I don't think it's going to help if I can get my 8th land. So, all right, let's think about this. I have some options. So I have 7. I have 7 lines. I need 8 for Torgar. I need 8 for Verdant Force. So I think what I'm going to do right now, my opponent's got 1 card, so Urgaros is not as good. I'd rather just play a card that's outside the range of Sheevan Fire. Make sure I have some blockers. Okay. Alright, so now we need to sack the cleric. Okay. Huh. So let's just go Goblin Barrage on the 3/3. Play a Spore Crown Thallid. And I'm not gonna attack. I understand it's awkward because I'm gonna have to sack a creature to demon. Well, I don't have to, but I'm gonna because I don't want to go to 3. That puts me within range of Wizard's Lightning. What I really want is to get to 8 mana so that Verdant Force can keep feeding the demon. Yeah, it makes sense for my opponent not to attack because he's thinking, well, I'm gonna have to start sacking creatures or getting it within range of Wizard's Lightning, which I don't want to do. Now I will attack because Verdant Force plus a 1/1 plus a 5/5 plus Torguard to back things up in case something goes wrong. I don't mind. I'll take my chances. Can Radiating Blatant get me here? So 6. No, I'd be down to 1. Okay. I'll probably Deep Freeze the Verdant Force instead, to be honest. I think it's a mistake. Okay. It loses the other ability, so I don't have to keep sacking things to it. So I think Urgoros is better here. So let's, I guess, go to second main phase. And just play Urgoros. And pass. So Broken Bond would actually be good if you kill the Deep Freeze, but I don't think I need it with Urgoros just getting in there. Okay, I will want to cast Torgar. I'm not sure if I want to do it next turn. So let's say I take 3, and then next turn I take 1, 2, 3, 4. We didn't see, what do you call it? We did not see a run amok in our opponent's deck. So for now, let's just attack with Urgoros and draw a card. Draw a card. Mountain. My mountain. I think let's just go glider and keep up fungal infection to, I guess, get Squee off the board for like a turn. Sounds like my dog is going nuts outside. That thing is 120 pounds of just monster dog. Do we even need to use fungal infection? I don't think so. Well, we should use it now because we only have 2 swamps. Yeah, I'm gonna use it now. It's not that I'm worried the opponent can kill us, but the game's very close. Right now, it's about maximizing your life total. I guess it wouldn't have mattered with Torgar. It would have brought me back um, to 10 anyway. Whatever. Let's just get in there with Urgros and Glider. So opponent discards what? Mountain. Yeah, I will play it now. So we're playing Torgar, increasing our starting life to 10. And we're passing. Okay. Did I have lethal on the last turn? I don't think so. Yeah, okay, let's go to game 2. All right, this is actually a decent opening hand, I think. If we can find another source of black, then we can go Urgoros on turn 5. Oh, yep, that's what we want. So it's a bit of a slow start, but I'm happy I have lands. My deck is very mana intensive, and 3/4 that makes you discard on turn 5 is pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna take some damage. Oh, he's not even attacking. Sweet. Sweet. All right, so let's stack. There goes. Hoping that we can dodge removal and pass, otherwise I'm taking 6. But hey, I'm pretty close to Verdant Force. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 land away, and I have 3 green. So it looks like he didn't attack with the Lone War Envoy because he needed it for mana fixing. So that saved me 3 points of damage. All right, Pierce the Sky, main deck. All right. Hey, I saw LSV do that, so I wouldn't be surprised if this guy has like 25 trophies. Jiri. 3. Okay, well. Either he knows something I don't know. Okay. So let's go Goblin Barrage. Envoy. Attack with Familiar. The reason why I did that first is because if my opponent had like Gift of Growth, I may like consider not attacking. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're close to just making 4 power every turn. I'm kind of tempted to not block with Sport Count Ballad just because he's so good with Verdant Force. But what am I doing? I don't want to take 6 damage. I need to, yeah. I just need to get to 8 lands. And now I can gain 10 life. It's pretty strong. 1, 2, 3, 4. So close. I'm gonna sandbag Druid. I know this is terrible, like treating 2 life, 2 damage for 4 damage. Interesting. So my opponent must have like some deeply rooted hatred for flyers. I guess that's fine. I'm not gonna play again. But you know what? That's actually, the armament on Omnivore is very smart because now Omnivore is out of range of like, what's an example? Fiery Intervention, right? So let's say I have that removal spell. My opponent can just sack a sapling and make me trade a sapling for a removal spell. But now I can just make endless ones and just block the world. And gain 10 life next turn. Or we're just dead. Yeah, it's pretty sad, pretty sad. Settle the score. It'll do that. So I would need a land to get back up to 10 life with Torgar, and maybe that'll let me trade for, oh god, you have one too. You also have a Verdant Force? Really? And you're keeping one back because why? Misclick? Okay. Let's go to game 2, I guess. So divest over Druid, definitely. The opponent must be very happy that his flyer hate cards worked. So I'm not taking out Glider or any of my flyers just just because I know my opponent has it. I'm not even going to play around it. It's a fact. I might like run out. No, that wouldn't do anything. Yeah, I'm not taking out like Rite of Bells and Logic because he has a Pierce the Sky. With the Wild Onslaught, like 4 mana enchantment that makes 4 0-1s, it's still somewhat playable. They become 1/2s, essentially, or 2/3s at some point. All right, this is reasonable. Mm, I don't think I want to play Shauna now because he's got the like the 2/3/2 cards. So I'm just gonna attack with Servant and play Glider. Yep. So I guess I'll play a Juror's Familiar. I'm not doing anything with Shauna anyway. Next turn she's a 4/4, and it can block Deadloom Ballad or kind of trade with an Arbor Armament. Okay, no blocks. All right, opponent found Source of Red. And on the way, fine. So we get in for 4 and play a 4/4 Shauna. Okay, so it's opponent's choosing to attack with both. I'm actually not going to block because I have removal and I can get in for a big hit next turn, as long as I can get rid of whatever my opponent plays on the board, and then it's going to be very awkward. Yeah, like that's perfect because now I can go Fiery Intervention on Thallid Omnivore, punish opponent for a greedy attack, and get in for 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, putting him at lethal next turn. Huh? That's not going to save him. Oh man, that was a big mistake. So my opponent just kind of he wants. I see what he did. He wants something to chump with. Still seems pretty bad. So he basically like killed a creature to prevent 4. I guess it's not too bad. Like he turned one of his creatures into a blocker, into a chumper. No, not a blocker, a chumper. It's just not too good. It's not that great. He bought himself a turn, basically. I guess that makes sense. All right, so opponent casts sell the score on one of our flyers. Makes sense. He feels very threatened, and maybe he's got like an arbor armament that he wants to trade. I wish I had a source of black mana. So yeah, let's just play Druid pre-combat. Make Shauna a 4/4. Question is, do I want to trade Shauna for an Arbor Armament and a Long Run Envoy? Probably not. So let's just get him a Glider. I'd rather have him use Arbor Armament on just to eat the Glider. It's still a card for a card at the end of the day. And I guess in retrospect, I should have attacked with Shauna because he didn't have it. All right, so I was recording the last turn, but we're still getting in for 2 in the air, and opponent could not find his Arbor Armament or Pierce the Sky, so we made out pretty well. So this is going to be the last game of game 2. I don't think I want to make any changes. I think our deck is good as it is, and we were kind of lucky that we won despite having a very awkward mana situation. All right, we need to mulligan this. Much better. This is awkward, but I don't want to get flooded, and I'd rather find my second source of black mana for Rite of Belzenlock, and then ensure that I have access to red right now. I don't need red until much later. I should have played that first, by the way. Joyride lets us cast turn 5 Grun. That's also decent. It'll keep up steady pressure on our opponent. I don't have any white permanents, so that's just going to remain a 2/2, which means that we're trading for Glider right now. We're even on damage with Glider, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. So I'm attacking. I'm not going to block with Familiar because I need to get Grum down. A 10/10 attacker is something that just absolutely has to be dealt with. And it's going to be, like, unless my opponent has Fiery Intervention, it's going to be difficult to interact with him on the board. Yeah. Taking 5, taking 5. All right, that just sucks. That absolutely sucks. Because now we're doing nothing. Now we're just taking 5 damage. Kind of makes you wish you put that mountain on top, doesn't it? But we wouldn't have drawn Garna this turn. We would have drawn something else this turn, so it's not, it's whatever. Yeah, it looks like we're just going to get overrun. Well, maybe Grun can do something. I guess he can keep back the big guys for a turn, and I can just trade with Kavu. So now I'm really hoping for like a source of black mana. Because Rite of Bells and Lock is essentially my only out right now. It lets me chump for a little bit and then, wow, everything. So, okay, what's gonna happen is I block, he's got armor armament, he keeps his 5/5 trampler, which is now a 6/6, but I don't have any other blocks because if I block this one, then I'm just dead. Then I take 8 anyway. So, all right, GG's, very good, very good, sir. I take my hat off to you. Yeah, no point in continuing. I have no draws that can beat the board state. All right, game 3. It's a keep. Navigator's Compass, all right. When I see this card, I just feel so much better about my odds in the game. I'm not going to use broken bonds on it. All right, double spore count ballot action. Empty Joe should make like a flashback Fallen Empires draft. That would be so much fun. All right, all right. Midas Protector's pretty strong. So, not sure what the play is now. All right, I'm missing a land drop. Whatever. I'm just gonna get in there. If opponent can like equip a lance next turn, that would be pretty bad. Play and equip. I'm happy. I mean, a 2-drop for a 4-drop, and at the end of the day, is a good trade. Okay, so land, yes, sweet. Let's go glider and pass. Oh, that's not too intimidating. So attack for 2. No attacks. All right, well, that's fine. So let's get in there with glider. Play familiar and pass. That's just pretty cool. That's pretty strong. Opponent played a kicked Skinwitch. So I think in this case I have to dish a Blessed Light and a Broken Bond. Blessed Light because I don't have access to white mana and I don't know when I will. And Broken Bond because I could care less about a short sword. And Verdant Force, for obvious reasons, I'm going to keep. My opponent's down to 1 card. I have removal. I'm actually winning the race right now. And I'm dealing 4 in the air every turn. So I like keeping Verdant Force. Since I have nothing else to do, I am going to kill Skinwitch, make another 2/2. No attacks. All right, so what's the value of using like Goblin Barrage to get an extra 4 points of damage? I don't think it's that good. I think we're better off just, we need to keep chucking away 4 in the air. And let's not forget that Goblin Barrage could be kicked to deal 4 directly by sacrificing an artifact. Still not worried about it. It's out of range of Goblin Barrage, but it really doesn't matter because at this rate, I'm definitely winning the race easily. I mean, technically, we have lethal next turn if he plays nothing else, but we're in no rush. We can just keep chipping away. All right, very strange deck. I'm really not sure what my opponent's trying to do. Bunch of equipment. Okay, nothing. So let's go to sideboard. Do we even need a broken bond? I don't know. I don't think we do. Honestly, what are we scared of? Short swords? I'd rather just have like a demonic vigor for or gross run. All right, opponent lost to 5. Keeps and puts a card at the bottom. All right, so opponent missed a land drop. Place Navigator's Compass. Still missing land drops. I'm just going to go glider. And let's start chipping away. Okay. Alrighty. So since my opponent had a good start, I'm just gonna kind of try to go for a quick win. Next turn I can go Wild Onslaught, and that could put a lot of pressure on my opponent. They'll give me a 4/3 flyer in a 3/4 attacker, which seems like it can get through whatever my opponent's going to play, given that he only has an 0-2 blocker right now and he's behind by 2 land drops. Jeez, these dogs are out of control. Ugh. All right, Power Stone Shard is not scary, but Wild Onslaught seems reasonable. I mean, if I get a Swamp, okay, I didn't get a Swamp. I was going to say, if I get a Swamp, I'll play something else, but it just seems bad taking a turn off right now, so I'd rather just go for the quick win. I guess my opponent can go Skin Witch next turn if he finds another Swamp. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'd have to discard I'd probably discard Urgoros and Torgar, I guess. This is a bit awkward. Yeah, I mean, all 3 of my cards are double black. I kind of don't want to see a second Swamp for my opponent right now. Skin Witch would be kind of bad. Kick Skin Witch. All right, Voltaic Servant. I still haven't figured out, where and how Power Stone Shard fits into this format. I guess if there's a historic deck that wants ramp, maybe there's room for it, but I haven't seen it. All right. Not worried about Traxos. Even if he's untapped, because yeah, like I'm getting in for 4 now, and my opponent's gonna have to deal with 2 flyers, which is going to be very difficult. Because if this thing had reach, it would be just stupid good. But unfortunately, it does not. Well, unfortunately for our opponent, fortunately for me, and we should be good. All right, so we got a 2-1. I hope you guys enjoyed the vid, and I'll see you next one.